Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. How you doing? It's Harry the Spastic here from Porky's Corner. Well, there's only one place to start in there, and that's the show at the weekend, Sheffield. We're in front of 2,500 people, Sheffield Arena. We're at 3,500. If Eddie Hearn's saying 3,500, you can bet your bottom dollar it was 2,500. There were other shows on at weekend. The Mick Hennessy show was the best one. Fantastic. I'm going to cover that later this week. Some of my guests on Zoom, some of my regulars. Got a schedule here now for the rest of the month. Now that we're back on track. I've got 18 videos booked in, and I've only got to do another 15 for the month. So bang on top, bang on course. That's how I like it to be. Could get used to this here, being in here, couldn't I? Not. What a shot. Right. Obviously, there's the Munguia Rosado fight as well. We'll cover that later on this week. I just want to cover part of the show at Matchroom. Obviously, there were, the novices on at the beginning, but I don't really want to cover that. Nobody's interested in that, are they? Although they should be, because some good kids on there. Probably cover that probably with Kent, or go through it all more in depth we can. Dante Dixon looked good, didn't he? Dave Allen's fighter looked good, didn't she, the girl? I think she's crackers. But then again, you've got to be crackers if you want to be involved in boxing, haven't you? James Flint, he did loads of tickets. He got beat. That's the first time he's really stepped up in it, because he's been fighting people with losing records. And that's what happens, isn't it? And he's a Steffi bullfighter. And if you keep padding people's records out, once they step up that little bit, they're not ready for it. That's my opinion. Are they getting the right sparring, these fighters? I don't know. You've got to ask yourself this. Are they learning the craft? Are they learning the craft? I don't know. What's the way forward? I don't know. Do we keep padding fighters' records out and waiting for Eddie Hearn to call? Is that the way forward? Should be selling onions in this Jarma top, shouldn't I? So I should be doing. Took this off today because it's killing me. It's killing me. I need a breather from it. Keep going like that. So James Flint got beat. He looked like he got bashed up, and he'll come again. Whether he wins the belt, I don't know. Maybe he might need a change of scenery. Who knows? Personally, I think that Eddie Hearn's gone to Steffi Bull and said, Steffi, what ticket sellers have you got for this Sheffield show? Because it's Galahad headlining and he doesn't do tickets. He's probably gone James Flint, Terry Harper, throw one of Dave Allen's fighters on. Dave will sell a few tickets, and I'll sell a few, and Terry will sell a few, blah, blah, blah. They've had to make do and mend, haven't they? But I don't think Eddie Hearn will go back to Sheffield with Galahad or any of them. I don't think he will. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? It's going to be interesting. Sheffield's dead now for boxing. It's dead. For ticket sales, I think it's dead, me. Kell Brook doesn't do tickets, does he? Galahad doesn't do tickets. I think it's dead, Sheffield, for boxing. I could be wrong. You'd have thought they'd have put Anthony Tomlinson on that show, wouldn't you? At Matchroom show. He does tickets, doesn't he? But if he signed a deal with Dennis will be wanting him back out in December, won't he? So we're going to see, aren't we? But we're coming up to the main event, aren't we? Or second main event. Terry Harper. But Billum Smith did well, but Terry Harper's the fight we want to talk about, isn't it? It's because of how it ended. Now, she got knocked out, stood up. I thought the referee did a good stoppage. But everybody knows when she fought Natasha Jonas that she was really upset afterwards and she'd never been hit. She said, I've never been hit before. You're a boxer. You're supposed to get hit. Now, does she spar men? Are these men letting shots go on her? I've seen Savannah Marshall spar, and I've seen shots on her. I've seen her get her ribs broke. True. If you want to be in a sport like this, it's like going in the shower, you're going to get wet, aren't you? I think Terry Harper's got a style that shows that she fights frightened. They've got her fit as a butcher's dog. She's got a good jab. She's got a long reach. So credit has to go to a trainer, Ray Doyle. Loads of credit. But when she gets hit, she don't know what to do, in my opinion. Does she need a new trainer? No, I think Ray's done well for her. Ray Doyle's done really well. I think she should stay with Ray Doyle. Has she been matched correctly? Yes, but she's not been put in any danger, has she? For example, who's Terry Harper's best win? Who? Who's the best win? Who is her best win? Her best win's a draw against Natasha Jonas. And it was technically a loss, wasn't it? That's her best performance to get through that. And she's been nowhere near to Natasha since then, has she? So that should tell you that she thought she'd lost. But that's her best performance. All the other ones, you weren't really against anybody who could punch or anything. Now, she's took this fight, and they knew she were in a proper fight, didn't they? I tipped her to lose. They knew she were in a proper fight, but after the first 20 seconds, the writing were on the wall, wasn't it? Now, why would they take this fight? Well, she's been inactive and they want to get some money in the bank, don't they? But they can't say no to Eddie Hearn, can they? Steffi can't say no to Eddie, can you, Steffi? You should have protected your fighter and said, no, that's too much for Terry after this long layoff and she's had a broken hand or hand injuries. You should have said no, but you didn't. You went a bit like that where I said at members area. You know, when you're watching blockbusters, they go, what do you want? What letter do you want? You go, R. And Bob Almost will go, R, and you'll go, yes, please, Bob. Well, that's Steffi, isn't it? Eddie will go, what fight do you want, Steffi? And he'll go, oh, any fight, Eddie. I just want to work with you. And he'll go, hey, we've got you a big, massive puncher from America. And he'll go, yes, please, Eddie. And Eddie will think, God, he didn't even ask me how much they want. Now, that's when you're hula hooping somebody. Everybody knows Steffi's got his tongue that far up Eddie Hearn's arsehole. He's eating his pot noodles for him. And that's a shame, really, because it means that you're not going out to bat for your fighters. Could you imagine Eddie Hearn ringing up Joe Gallagher and saying, Joe, I know Natasha's been laid up ages with an hand injury, but we've got you like a Gerald McClellan, a female version of the G-Man. And we want to put Natasha in with him. Eddie would have, Joe Gallagher would have said, not on your fucking Nelly. That's what he would have said. But Steffi Bull didn't, did he? He went, yes, please, Eddie. More, Eddie, more. And they've got beat. Now, the safety net is they've got a rematch clause, but Steffi would have known that. He's a sharp cookie with boxing. But they've got to fight this person again now. So that's how Eddie would have clinched it. Oh, come on, Steffi. You know, we've got rematch. Steffi's not going to say no to rematch because he'll want to work with Eddie down the line. But like I said before, and I'll say it again, did you notice the other day when they were like, we've got unfinished business with Natasha Jonas? If you've got unfinished business with Natasha Jonas, why didn't you rematch her straight away? Instead of coming out, well, we've got weight issues, this and that. Look, once you're passing weight, check weights leading up to a fight, if you're passing them, you ain't got weight issues. So I don't want to hear all this, well, I've got weight problems. Fucking move up a weight if you've got weight problems. It's not rocket science, is it? If it's killing you to make weight, move up. Don't be taking a fight against a massive puncher if you've got weight problems. Because Terry Harper looks to me like, is it like that? There's no meat on her. That's not good, is it? Good, is it? When you're taking, listen how I look at it, right? You know, after you've been on that weigh-in, you've got 36 hours to rehydrate. You can't fully rehydrate, and if you've been taking all fluid out your body, you're taking fluid from behind your brain, aren't you? So your brain's got no protection. It's got no protection whatsoever. Once you get punched, no protection whatsoever. So if you've got weight problems, move up, because safety is paramount. But how can they have weight problems if they're doing check weigh-ins? That's how I look at it. Or at board not doing the job. Well, we don't know, do we? But it's going to be an hard fight for her. If she gets flogged in rematch and bookies will make her a massive underdog, then they can come out when we've got weight problems. But then I can come on here and I can say, well, why didn't you step up a weight? Why did you take that fight? Because what if she gets bashed up? What if we have another Scott Westgarth on us hand? Then we're going to have a whip round for it, for her family, give her a few quid, and then she not be spoke about ever again. Because who speaks about Scott Westgarth? I didn't hear anybody mentioning him in any videos at weekend. Anniversary of his death last year, nobody mentioned no on social media, hardly. So you forgot about. One day you cock of the walk, the next you're a rubbing rag. That's how I look at it. But she didn't win a second of any of that fight. So why would you have a rematch? Why would you put your fighter in a rematch with somebody that's just smashed you to bits, put you into orbit, and then you're saying you've got weight problems and you're going to fight that person at that weight again? It's suicide. Craziness. Utter craziness. Can you imagine these people sat round a table saying have the rematch? That girl must be petrified, Terry Harper and her family. She's got to step up a weight if she stays in boxing and go back to the drawing board. Can't keep draining people down like that. She looks overtrained to me, overtrained. She needs a good rest, But I don't know what to make of it all. But why? It's not, it were a conclusive finish, wasn't it? So why is there a rematch? Galahad's going to have a rematch because he were winning every second of the fight up to getting dropped first time. So he'll correct that in rematch and he'll beat him on points. He'll stay out of the way and just do what he does best, stink arena out. But Terry Harper never won a second of the fight. She looked ill. They might come out and tell us that she's not been very well and that. That's all very well, but why would you want to fight that girl again? Why would you fight her that if there's even a hint of weight problems? Why go near a massive puncher like that? I don't know, but what disappointed me afterwards, there were no interviews whatsoever. They just did a Shannon Courtney on us, didn't they? When they win, we can't get them off telly or Facebook. There's no on Facebook. There's nothing on any social media at all. Bullcroft came out, put a tweet out, didn't he, on Steffi's account, swearing and saying jobs fucked and all that. Look, she didn't put that out, Terry Harper. You did that, Bullcroft, because you're a control freak. Stop controlling people. You'll get that last bashed up, you'll get her disabled. I think it's a shame. If you had half a brain, you'd go fight Natasha Jonas, but you don't bring no to table with no belt, do you? So you're in a bit of a pickle. So you've got to do as your paymaster says, Eddie Earn. And like I said, Terry Harper is a recipe. It's a recipe for disaster against that girl that was a big puncher. Once you've been a protective fighter wrapped in cotton wool and manoeuvred, eventually you have to step up. Yeah, we can all have the hype and all this and keep going on about used to working a chippy and all that. And isn't it a great story? But there's always somebody next in the queue to take that story over, like Dave Allen's fighter. She's now going to be the new Terry Harper. Eddie likes her, doesn't it? And she's funny, isn't she? She's got a bit of a story to tell. She'll be the new Terry Harper. That's Stevie. Dave Allen's fighter. Is it Stevie Lee? She'll be the new Terry Harper. And there's always somebody else next in line. And I know it's sad and awful and that, but maybe it shows over for Terry Harper now she's had some fist. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But knowing Bullcroft as I do, he'll want to bleed her dry. Wring every penny you can out of her. That's how I look at it, Steffi. When she's walking around Denby in 10 years, talking like Dave Allen, Steffi will just drive by in his Porsche, won't he? And go, won't even pit. Because that's the nature of the beast. That's how these people work. But he has done well for her. He's invested in her. He got her that IBO. They've done well for her. Ray Doyle and Steffi have done well for Terry, and Ryan Rhodes. They've all done well. We have given her advice on that. But when you're getting iced like that, well stood up, there's something missing. Maybe she is weight drained. Maybe she should step up. But what they'll say to counterbalance that is, hey, we'll get you a nutritionist. We'll do this. We'll do that. They'll do anything to get her in that ring. But like I've just said to you before, said to you now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Once you're disabled and you're no good to anybody in boxing, you're discarded like rubbish. It's like footballers when they're injured. Manager doesn't speak to them. Players don't go near them. You're no good. That's just sport, I'm afraid. That's just sport. But it is what it isn't. And I think it's a shame, but she's done well. She's done well, Terry Harper. We have to give her credit. But why would you want to fight a killer who's just done that to you? And if you've got weight problems, why take the risk? Why take the risk of ending up brown bread? Because all that's going to happen is, as soon as that girl sets about her earlier on in the fight, towel's going to come in it. They'll take the money and run. They'll then go with begging bowl to Sky to fight Natasha Jonas. That's what I think. Could be wrong, but looking at it from outside, I'm pretty harsh on. I'm very critical, aren't I? Maybe I'm too much of a critic. I don't know, but I see through bullshit. Like I just said there, when you get put into orbit, it's a conclusive finish, innit? Galahad's were a conclusive finish, but he was winning fight, wasn't he? Dylan White got put into orbit. It happens, but he was winning the fight, wasn't he, against Povetkin the first fight. Terry Harper fought frightened to death. She got clipped earlier on, felt the power, didn't want to know. So what's going to change in the next 6 months? No, it's going to change. Is she going to get Adam Booth? Go to Adam Booth. He's the best. Is Adam Booth going to come and rescue her? No. Is Ben Davidson going to come and rescue her? Jesus, he couldn't rescue himself. Who's going to rescue her? Who? Flex Ingle? Do me a favour. You've just seen him. You've just seen his performance. He sent Galahad out for that last round, didn't he? He didn't even know where he were. What sort of trainer does that? When you've got a rematch clause, do me a favour. So how are they going to rescue Terry before rematch? Who's looking out for Terry Harper? Who? It's a tadpole swimming with sharks. So I look at it. So, which brings me to, speaking of tadpoles, which brings me to Galahad. He's a little tadpole now, isn't he? Right. Who is Kid Galahad's best win? Who? Desiree! Who's his best win? Kid Galahad's best fight he's ever been in was Josh Waddington. That's his best win, but he didn't get decision. No, Jazza Dickens is his best win. But he'll be remembered for losing to Waddington, won't he, in a stinker. But so is Yazza Dickens being your best win and the last fight you were in? Does that prepare you for Martinez? Well, it should do, because Martinez is shot to bits, isn't it? But has Kid Galahad had enough tests in his career? No. But he was doing all right, wasn't he? And I think he just got caught. He wouldn't rematch on points. And that's it. But who's to say that Eddie will want to go back to Sheffield? I don't know. They could put Martinez in with Warrington, couldn't they? You never know, do you? And then put Warrington in with Galahad. I don't know. It's a bit of a mystery, isn't it? But Warrington's already beat Martinez, hasn't he? So Scott Quigg did best job on Martinez, didn't he, Scott Quigg? So I look at it. That's how I look at it. But we wish Galahad well, don't we? I don't like him as a person. I don't like his style. But I respect what he's done and years he's put in. But I won't have him through my fucking door. You won't get in here for a cup of tea and a bit of honey with a big P. You won't get through my fucking door. Carrying off how he carries off. But you've got to respect somebody that lives in gym. And I respect him for chipping away. I don't respect him for shitting on Mick Hennessy, though, but it's boxing, isn't it? Especially after Mick got him a 2-year drug ban reduced to 18 months and after spending money with lawyers, but it's what it is, isn't it? But on the whole, the show, if you were a hometown fight and you wanted all Eddie's fighters to win, it were a disaster, wasn't it? But them knockouts made it exciting, didn't it really? And Eddie will play on that, won't he? But when you've got rematch clauses like Eddie's got, that's why you don't really give a shit, do you? Because you're going to get a second bite at cherry. But why do these fighters have to beat the champion twice to be clear of them? Wrong, isn't it? Rematches are killing sport. I don't mind odd rematch if it's a great fight, but we've had conclusive finishes, haven't we? So why a rematch? But then we've got them in mandatory fights now, haven't we? Rematches. What's all that about? Why are sanctioning bodies letting them have rematches in mandatory fights? And that's supposed to go against the grain. That's what I heard. So what's point in getting a mandatory if you've got to fight the champion twice? Same even if it's a voluntary. I can understand the voluntary, but I don't know. I don't know. But it is what it isn't it? So another thing as well, I've just got something on my phone here. Let's have a look at this here. How many male world champions have Eddie and Frank got now? A Coley and Lee Wood. You wouldn't open your curtains to watch a Coley. Lee Wood's got a regular belt. That's what Eddie's got now. That are male. And Frank's got Sonny Edwards, aka Stuart Little, and Tyson Fury, aka Tom Pepper. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward if we've only got 4 male world champions from England. It's going to be very, very, very interesting. Josh Taylor, he's Scottish. Who else is there? Katie Taylor's Irish, she's female. I don't know who else. There isn't that many more, is there? Has Eubank got a trinket belt? They got an IBO or something? I'm not sure, but he's not with Eddie or Frank, is he? He's with Wasserman, isn't he? It's going to be very, very interesting. Let me just check this thing on here. I've got something on here that's very interesting to talk about. Yeah, we know about Eddie losing his 4 world champions, don't we, in 7 weeks. Eddie Hearn said boxing is the most brutal sport and thrilling sport of all. One punch can change everything. Incredible drama in Sheffield. Congratulations to Kiko Martinez for making history for Spain. And I know Kid Galahad will be back stronger. So like I've just said to you there, Kid Galahad, one day you're cock of the walk, the next you're a rubbing rag. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? It's going to be interesting. But has Steffi Bull made the right choice going with DAZN? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure, but he did speak to Sky in summer. So, but he went with Eddie Hearn in end, but look how he's been matched. He'll be regretting that now, won't he? But it is what it is, isn't it? And maybe that's why Terry Harper were coming out with, me and Tasha have got unfinished business. Once Terry Harper said that, I knew she was threatening to that American, because they're thinking about getting on Sky, aren't they? That's how it looks to me. Might have been thinking, well, if I fight this last, got to fight her again, then we'll go fight Tasha. You won't come out with stuff like that, because if you're in bed with Eddie Hearn, if you're working with Eddie Hearn, you're working with him, aren't you? So what you mentioning about other fighters on other channels for? I don't know, but it's a soap opera in it with gloves, boxing gloves. But we wish them all the best, and I think it's time for me to get this wound changed on here. Get me some sorted out for a day lady like Harry the fucking spastic. All right, peace out. Keep on trucking, keep supporting boxing. I don't know what to call this video, but I think I might call it hashtag doing bits. Because that's your favourite saying, isn't it, Steffi Bull? Hashtag doing bits. Hey, peace out. Hey, I'm going to just end on this. I tell it straight, you know that, don't you? Am I glad Terry Harper got beat? No, because she's half all right, Terry, and she's a nice lass. She just manipulated, isn't she? But I'm glad that Bullcroft's nose has been put out of joint, because I don't like you, Bullcroft. But then again, I'm not going to be like a lot of people in your circle who are going to say, I'm gutted, Steffi, that you blah, blah, blah. Because they're not fucking gutted. They're buzzing, mate. Because I know most of them. But let me just say this to you. I'm glad that you've had a shit weekend. All right. Peace out.